what's going on, Archons? Time for another fireside chat with my KeyThoughts this week. And as always, I am joined by my pal in my thought process and musings of the week, Lil Fuzzy here. So, this week is interesting because I'm going to tell you something. I had a great thing planned for April Fool's today and all that jazz. And I was going to come out and pretend this was a Magic the Gathering weekly thoughts. And I was a little thrown off and a little dismayed by the FFG April Fool's joke after we had the Dark Tidings delay yet again. Apparently, Dark Tidings was on the Evergreen. So, yeah, I guess that's a thing. But I don't want to go too much into the negativity. If you've joined me on Twitter this morning, you will have heard my rant, most likely, in various forms. I'm not mad, just frustrated. No need to get mad about something like this. Stuff does happen. It's just the April Fool's joke felt like kind of a slap in the face in a way. I was not able to appreciate it in the way I think it was intended, which is on me. And I did share that with everyone else and slightly put that on them. So I apologize if my own ranting and dismay affected you. That was not my intention, although it definitely would have happened. And let's get on to what I want to talk about this week. But first, let's talk about the card of the week. So the card of the week is Song of the Wild. That is correct. Song of the Wild. And if you're not familiar with this card, it is an untamed action that says play for the remainder of the turn. Each friendly creature gains reap, gain 1. Now, this card I think is amazing, but also slightly annoying at times because you can get it without the ability to properly utilize it. And it happens quite frequently, but there are some things that make that a little bit more potent. For one, obviously, a Ghost Talk is great. But the reason why it's the card of the week for me is because I had the experience of getting to enjoy it with the ever cute Moorwolf. Such a cute little card. And it says ready each other wolf creature. So that allows you to have that wolf aspect come into play. Such a cute card, and it's great with Song of the Wild because you have the potential to really get a use out of those Moorwolves when you have them in multiples in your hand. And I did get to do such a thing, which was a lot of fun, and get to utilize Song of the Wild as such. So things like Ghost Hawk and Moorwolf provide Song of the Wild to have a little bit more oomph than it normally would. And I got that experience on stream this week, and that is why it's my card of the week. So, what did I want to talk about today? Well, today we're going to be talking about Decklist awareness. And what I mean by that is being aware of what is on your opponent's deck list. And currently on TCO, that is much easier than an IRL way because you can look at it whenever you want. But in IRL, if you can kind of remember the potent cards that you need to watch out for when you make plays with your deck, it can be very handy. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is it allows you to plan for the future. What I mean by that is when you're about to make a move, if you know what your opponent has played and what your opponent has available that could hurt certain moves, it can allow you to act accordingly. That means that if you know they don't have the answers to something you're going to do because they've already played it, easy one on TCO is you literally look at their discard, look at their deck list, and see what matches there, or I guess you do that in reverse. Look at their deck list and see if they've played it already. When you know they have, guess what? Congratulations, you can now play that card, that combo, whatever it may be, with little regret afterwards, knowing that they can't hurt you, unless you overlook something, of course. But being able to just know that they've played the answer to your move means that you're going to be able to do that with impunity, so to speak. And I really like that idea. It allows this freedom of play to occur that you otherwise may not have. A big one I think that we all know is Too Much to Protect. That one is a big card that you may be being more cautious in your play, waiting for it. And then when you allow it to come out, you can be like, oh heck yeah, Christmas came early. Boom, here's a bunch of presents for you. And by for you, I mean I get all this Ember and you don't. So it's a really great thing to keep in mind and know board wipes, all those different cards that exist, artifact control. There's nothing quite as feel bad as having something like a Dark Ember Vault deck playing your Dark Amber Vault and then it getting reclaimed by nature, getting it hawked, anything like that. It's literally gone the turn after you play it. And you don't really get to utilize it. Feels bad. But as soon as those cards come out, and especially if another artifact to bait in that exact example, it allows that freedom to now play it, not worry they have to cycle, all these things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So that's why I wanted to just talk about that deck list awareness within the game and knowing your opponent's deck list. Once we get back into IRL play, the memory will definitely have to be utilized more so in order to pull this off. But until then, take advantage of practicing this with training wheels, i.e. TCO deck list visibility, and allow yourself that nice little exercise of practicing, knowing what you have to be aware of and not aware of because it's been played or not played. Now, rules are meant to be broken. Now, this statement has been said many times in many different ways. The reason I'm bringing it up today is because the most recent episode of Help from Future Self, episode 98 with Scuzzy and SC Steele, I was not a part of it, so I'm kind of doing my own little contribution here, was one called Dis's Advocate. And the idea is it's devil's advocate with a KeyForge flavor. And this is thinking about the rules of KeyForge we have. And when I say rules, I don't mean the actual rules of the game, but the rules we have put into practice. And Alex, I believe, came up with this idea as a concept, and I think it's really cool, to play devil's advocate to standard forms of practice that we do, such as like the 2-2-2 rule, making sure that you ABC, always be checking, things like that. And they go into this and the counters to it within the latest episode, which you should check out. I wasn't a part of it, as I said, I was missing this week, but I really enjoyed getting to hear it when I was editing the cast to put out, and I think it's such a cool concept. But I feel left out, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to use this KeyThoughts episode to have my own Dis's Advocate, and that is the idea of don't chain yourself. So what that means is, a lot of times in KeyForge, if you have a key charge, if you have a control the weak, maybe too much to protect, interdimensional graph, I guess control doesn't apply as much, but those cards that you're waiting for your opponent to do something so you can respond, or for you to have something occur so you can respond, and you decide, no, it's best to cycle cards, so you always, you know what, you don't hold those cards, you just play them. And for me, no. I think you can actually chain yourself, and there is a place and time for that within the game of KeyForge. But it's one of those things where it comes to rules are meant to be broken. So once you understand the rules, you can break them. And this is what this goes with. Once you understand how your deck plays, you can then break those rules. Especially, I think, with key cheats. If you know that you need to cheat a key in order to win most times, then burning that card and hoping to cycle into it may not be the best strategy, and chaining yourself is better. Now, my ideology on this is, people say, like, you just play it and then you can cycle through your deck more, you're drawing more cards, which means you have a chance of getting it again. The key point is you have a chance of getting it again, and you have to weigh the option of the ratio of you and the odds of you potentially drawing that one card again, as opposed to you have it and you're just being patient of when to play it. Think about that idea, because yes, it is true you will see in general more cards, but if you know that card means you winning, are you guaranteed to have that? Because you know what they say, a bird in a hand is worth two in the bush. So just keep that in mind. That is my Dis's Advocate to contribute, since I wasn't a part of the episode. Thought I'd throw it into this Key Thoughts. What are your thoughts on everything discussed today? I love hearing people's own takes on my discussions and my musings of the week. So I would love to hear your thoughts if you can comment below. And don't forget, become a Patreon supporter if you want to win some of the decks that I've been opening. I actually lowered the price of some of the tiers. I want to make it a little bit more accessible and give more value for everything. So please do go check that out. And I want to give a shout out to Poutrick, who became a Patreon supporter, as well as my man Rickster78, who also joined my Patreon squad. Thank you so much for your support. And let's see if you guys happen to win decks this upcoming month. So as always, everyone, may your Ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.